Hey, what's up guys, it's Theo from Film Concept. So today we are going to create this simple birthday design in Adobe Photoshop. Let's get started. Welcome to Film Concept. Click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on any of our future videos. Alright, so as always, I'll go ahead and open up my application here and let's create a new file. So I'll set this to pixel and make the width 2000 by 2000, but let's use 3000 by 3000, any dimension that you feel comfortable with. I'll make the resolution 300 pixels per inch and just click on create. All right, so I already have my image in here. This is the image I'm going to be using for this demonstration. So I'll just right click and open it up in Photoshop. Now this image is already looking nice, but I want to do away with the background. So I'll select any of the selection tool, probably the quick selection tool, and I'll click on select subject up here. If you're using the older version of Photoshop, you have to click and drag and create your selection line. So but I believe that is too much of a stress. Just upgrade your Photoshop. So click on select subject right up here. Alright, so with our subject selected, I'll right click and go to layer via copy or layer via cut. Either one should work. And with my move tool, I'll just click and drag and drop this into our workspace right here. Let's place this at the center like so. So this is perfect. Now I'm going with a green theme for this tutorial. So let's sample a green color. Oh, okay, we already have a green color in there. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually create a background for this design, and I'll be using the gradient overlay. So go into the adjustment panel, which is right here, and click on gradients. Now I'm going to set my style from linear to radial, and I'll make sure that the center is supposed to be the white one, then the borders will be the green color. So I'll click on reverse right here like so, and let's place this somewhere we feel comfortable with. Let's go ahead and increase the scale as well, so something like this. Yeah, I think something like this. No, let's go with about 200. Let me double click and bring it back. So something like this is looking quite nice already, and click on OK. Now we want the gradient fill to be behind our image, not on top. So I'll click and drag this to the bottom like so. You can go ahead and name this up, say background or something. That is totally up to you. Now once I've done this, I want to add in another gradient fill. So let's duplicate this using Ctrl J. The reason for that is I want the second one to be much lighter and smaller. So I'll double click here. Now with the option up here, I'll double click on the gradients, this rectangle we have here, and I'll click on this first stop we have here and change the color to a much lighter color. So probably much lighter than what we had initially. Then I'll do the exact same thing for the other side. So a lighter color, probably somewhere around here, and click on OK and click on OK. Now once I'm here, I'll probably make this much smaller, maybe 100, and place that one right around here, so where the head is, so that we can illuminate it a little bit more. So somewhere around here should be fine, and click on OK. I think this is looking quite cool. Now I actually want to add in some text, and the text is going to be taking away some part of her body. So with the image selected, no, let's call this image. Click on the add layer mask option, which is down here. Now we are going to grab our brush tool. Now anytime you are using layer mask and you grab the brush tool, anytime you brush black over the layer mask, you are going to be hiding those portions of the image. Then white is going to be revealing. So in this case, we want to hide the part of her hand. Now let me make the image much smaller, so something like this. And I'll grab the brush tool, that is B on your keyboard. Then with the brush tool selected, just right click and make some adjustment to the size, the hardness, anything like that. I'm going to leave my hardness to 0 and play around the size. So let's see how we are looking like. Now you can see that it's actually using the darker green, which is our foreground. The reason for that is I have selected the image and not the layer mask. So go ahead and select the layer mask, not the image, the layer mask itself, and it should change to black and white. So black to hide, I want to hide these portions, and this is what I have. So let me increase the size of my brush and brush over here like so. Let's make it probably 500 pixel and brush over here like so. I think this is good enough. All right, so the next thing is to add in our text, which is T on your keyboard. So let's go ahead and type in a text like should we start with happy birthday? Let's just type birthday first. I'm going to use a much bigger font size, so go into the font size, probably 70, 72. Yeah, 72 seems about right. Now instead of Gotham, this time around, let's change it. Let's go with Monsterrat, the black version. Okay, now try to leave links to these fonts in the description below if I don't forget. Then what else do we do? Okay, so I'll place it somewhere around here. Now I'm going to highlight everything. I want them to be much closely packed to each other. So go into the character options. If you don't have this, just go to window and click on character. It should be here. Then over here where we have the V and A and the double arrows pointing to the side, reduce it to about 100. So as you can see, it's much closer. If you set it to probably negative 100, if you set it to probably 0, this is how it's supposed to be. If you set it to 100, then you're increasing the tracking between the text. So I'm going to set mine to let's go with negative 50, and our place is right around here. Now I want to add in a stroke around the borders of my text. So with the text layer still selected, go into FX and click on stroke. Now in stroke, I'm going to reduce the size to about 5. Let's start off with 5. And I'm going to change the position from inside to outside. And let's increase the size a bit. All right, so I think 20 pixel is just fine. The opacity, I'm going to leave it as 100% because I want to see every exact thing. I still want these fonts to be much closer to each other. So I'll highlight everything. Then probably from the negative 50, I'll change it to negative 75. Let's see how that is looking. Okay, I think this is much better. I also want to add in a bunch of flowers. So you know what, let's just go to Google and start searching in maybe sunflower PNG because we don't want to deal with backgrounds here. All right, so I'll click on images. Let's see what we get. I think I'll go with this because this is looking much nicer to me already. Right click, go to copy image, and I'll paste it in here. So using Control V should paste it in here like so. Let's zoom in and make some adjustments. So I'll grab my quick selection tool or the magic wand in this case. Because the background is all white, I just want to take away the background. So I'll just delete those portions away. These are all the parts that I do not need. All right, so once I'm done, I'm just going to place this right over here like so. Let's increase the size a bit. Now there, ideally you have to use the highest quality of image, not what I'm using right now. But like I said, this is just a tutorial, so I wouldn't want to waste too much time here. Now there are a couple of texts I want to add in, like a happy birthday. I should have mentioned this. Let's bring up our rulers using Control R. So hold down the Control key and press R. I think on the Mac it should be Command R. I'll click and drag from the left hand side and place this at the center. It should snap around the center like so. Now everything I'm going to do is going to be right around the center. So I'll highlight this. This time around, let's change it from black to probably medium and reduce the size because this is ridiculously huge. It's still too huge, so probably 14 point. Then next time around, we are going to increase the tracking. So from negative 75, let's make it probably 200. No, let's keep increasing it. Yeah, I think I'm more comfortable right around 2000. So I'll place this somewhere around here. And to make this even sell the more, let's add in a couple of other texts like glorious. Okay, let's highlight everything and reduce the size, just making sure this is matching somewhere around here. Perfect. Now let's change the font size, sorry, the color to white. And this is what we have. But it's still a bit difficult to see the text. So we are going to add in a shadow, a drop shadow behind our text. So with the text selected, go to FX or Effect and click on drop shadow. Now you can't really see the shadow, so let's increase the opacity. We'll still bring it back down, and also decrease the distance so that it is much closer to what we have here. I'm sure you are seeing it now. If I reduce the size, you can clearly see it. So I'll place it somewhere around here and increase the size, something like this, and probably give it a little bit of spread and distance. Yep, I think something like this, but let's increase the size. So something like this is looking quite nice, but I want the opacity to go much lower. All right, so I'll keep this like this. Oh, we can close this work now. Now let me go ahead and save before Photoshop crashes. You can pause at this place if that is what you are into, but there are a couple of things I would like to add in. Some being probably the date of birth. So that is going to be, let's think of something, say maybe 12 of maybe say November 95 or something. All right, so let's increase the distance between every text. So highlight all the text. I'll bring this back down to 0 because I want to get all the information in here. And let's increase the distance between the text. So that's going to be the A above and the A beneath. So text above, text beneath. Increase or decrease it however you want. I'll go with about 18 points. Let's go with 24 points because we want to add in something at the back of these texts. Grab the ellipse tool, which is here. So just right click and grab the ellipse tool. Now click and drag whilst holding down the shift key so that you get a perfect circle right around here. Now with the move tool selected, bring this somewhere around here. Now you can see it is covering our 12 because if you take a look at the layers panel, the ellipse is on top of the text. So I'll bring it beneath like so. Now we can actually see our text. So what I'm going to do is, you know what, let's make this ellipse this green color that we've been working with. Let me see if you can grab the yellow instead. You know what, let's make a yellow, this yellow color, or just pick one from random. So I'll just go with probably this yellow color. Let's go back to our ellipse. So this is what we have. Now definitely I'm going to change the text, but we want to duplicate this. So Control J, bring the second one beneath like so. Duplicate again, Control J, and the third one is going to be at the center like this. But I want the third one to be a bit different. In this case, I actually want it to be just stroke and no fill. Fill is the color inside, stroke is the color on the outlines or the borders. So with my ellipse still selected, if you go up here, you can see we have fill and stroke. I'll click on the fill and click on no fill. Then I'll move to the stroke and click on the color I just used. So 5 pixels, let's make it 10 and see how that is looking like. All right, now this is looking quite neat. So what I'll do is, I actually don't feel comfortable with this white text, so I'll make this darker and I'll make this darker as well. Now let's zoom out and see what we have so far. Yep, we are making some progress. All right, so we are going to keep this part as that, and if there's other information we can add in, probably if you have the name you can add the name, but I'm not going to do that. So the name can come down here. A glorious birthday to whoever it is that you are dedicating this to. So you know what, I'm actually going to put my name there because why not, Theolabi. All right, so this is something quite simple that you can create in Photoshop. You can also go ahead and add in some little bit of information like the birthday text here. I want to duplicate it as much as possible, add in more layers of that same text so that the birthday pops up the more. So let's duplicate this using Control J. Now let's select the one beneath because that is what we are going to work with, and bring that behind our text. So behind our image, not the text, behind our image. right click and clear all the layer styles. So you just want just the text. Now I also don't want a fill, so when we have where we have the opacity and the fill, set the fill to 0, so no fill. Now let's add in a stroke. So go into FX and click on stroke. This time around we are going to reduce the size of the stroke to a lot, so probably 5. Yeah, 5 looks okay. Let's change it to inside and see how that is looking like. I think I'll stick with outside and click on OK. Now let's bring this at the bottom here and duplicate it about 4 or 5 times. So the first one, Ctrl J, click and put it up here. Second one, Ctrl J, will come up here. And again, I think 4. Yeah, 4 is just fine. Let's just work with 4. So what we are going to do is just reduce the opacity of every single one of them based on how they are showing. So this is the first one, the one on top. Let's make it about 10% opacity, or probably 20%, so you can change it up here. The second one, I'll make it about 40%. You can just press the numbers 1 to 9 or 0 to 9 to change the opacity. 0 for 100%, 9 for 90%, 5 for 50%, and so on and so forth. So this is going to be 60%, so I'll just press the number 6. And the last one is going to be 80%, so I'll just press the number 8. And this is what we have. I think this is looking quite beautiful. Now I can leave you guys with this, but anytime I add in an image, I want to add in some sort of effect using light to make it stand out a bit more. Now I'm going to explain to you why I do so. Let's create a group and let's just call this light. Now you're going to see the difference once we remove and show the light. So add a new layer mask. Add a new layer. Let's grab our brush tool. Let's see how, okay, this is our brush tool. Now let's change the blend mode to screen and color at certain areas, like over here. We can just click one time to get a sample of that color. I can also select the yellow color and maybe, you know what, let's click somewhere around here. Okay, this is too bright. Let's start off with the greens. So the greens, we can have it somewhere around here. And once you do one, you can just duplicate. So Ctrl J. I prefer duplicating instead of creating it again, so that they are not all on the same layer. And probably just increase the size. I'll place this second one right around here. Duplicate again. Probably put one right around here at the bottom. Duplicate one more time. Let's put one on the left hand side. Make it huge, quite big, someone like this. Now let's go ahead and play with the yellow color. So also change the blend modes to screen. Now let's grab the yellow color. Our brush tool is active. Now the yellow is a bit too bright, so let's reduce the intensity. So maybe make the color a bit darker. And let's color and see. Okay, that's better. So I'll place one probably here. Duplicate. Let's place one maybe here. Make it much bigger. Duplicate using Ctrl J. Place one maybe at the center of the D. Now the yellows are still too bright, so I'll just select all of them and reduce the opacity, probably 50% or probably just 30%. So let's turn off the light and see what we have. Oh, I should let's get rid of the lines. It's a bit confusing. All right, so this is without the lights and with the lights, without the lights and with the lights. So let me know which one you prefer, using the lights or not using them. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to watch more of our videos, hit that subscribe button, and as always, don't forget to share with your family and friends. This is Theo from Final Concept, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.